Well, good evening, Holler denizens and wildcards. No big intro tonight because we don't need it for these two famous folks. Hopefully, all of you guys have already gotten your copies of Holler and Appalachian Apocalypse. But if not, we're going to give you guys a little just to celebrate with us because who doesn't need to see Sheep Squatch? Everyone needs to see Sheep Squatch. I almost gave Donald ammo for his plural of Sheep Squatch is Squeech. We should not be doing that. That's. But we got an exciting unboxing because after years of toil and torment, it is a real thing. Tim, congratulations, and Tracy.
Congratulations, Tim.
So super excited. So Tim, hold up your copy, man. Let's see it.
Oh yeah, this is the limited edition. You see the little owl embossed. Nice little bookmarks. And yeah, we just, this might be kind of controversial, but this is the Leatherette limited edition, part of the Kickstarter. The cover is made from ethically sourced sheep squatch skin. Now, we can't really go into the details about what ethical sourcing means in relation to sheep squatch. I mean, you shear them, they're sheep after a fashion, but they're also
so technically you don't have to kill them to shear them. So
yeah, technically you don't, but you do have to capture them and keep them still enough to shear, and that's sometimes a dicey proposition, but this is all ethically sourced sheep squatch.
Sure,
that's good. It's good. Yeah, PETA, leave us alone. It's okay. It's all make believe. So I'm super excited because my box just came yesterday, and so I've been dying to open it. So I'm gonna break into it while you guys get to talk about how cool all the stuff is. But Tim, you were posting to me. Make sure I'm not running over Dogtail because dog is safely out of the room. Oh my gosh, it is a big box.
Big box.
So if you get all the stuff, folks, it is big box, totally big box. And so what's it like, Tim, after all the hard work, all the toil, all the back and forth, finally getting to see your book in print? And describe, for folks, what that's actually like.
Oh, it was an incredible feeling. I just sort of instantly got a little teary-eyed when we popped it open and started looking through it, because everything was just so beautiful and well done. And just every little aspect of it are things that, Tracy and I had discussed, sometimes with Shane, sometimes with Daryl, sometimes with my wife, Jess. We did a lot of talking about what the archetypes should look like. She had a huge voice in how the Gouger looks and how the Granny Woman looks. And just to see everything brought to fruition and then just look so stunning. And it looked so cohesive and of a piece. And it's this own little microcosmic world, and just it came out of a box. It was super cool. It was a dream come true.
So Tracy, what was it like for you? I mean, I know this is not the first time you worked on a project and actually had it get printed, but I mean, this is a rather unique project. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but have you ever worked on anything remotely similar to Holler?
No. First of all, it's the first box set that I worked on that was released. So that alone is just something. It's also it's in my local game store. I was gonna stop by today because they kickstarted it too, and I wanted to get a picture of the stuff they have on the shelf, but I didn't get to it yet. So when I do, I'll get a picture and I'll post it up on the Savage Worlds Facebook group. But today I got this delivered from Daryl, who picked it up from Shane. Man, I gotta change my background. This isn't gonna work. But I got that delivered, and it has a personalized message for me from Tim.
Oh,
pretty
nice.
Cool. So this book, the Sheep Squatch Skin edition, is really, really well done. I mean, really well done. It just feels good, and it just feels like a substantial book, and it is in theme, and it feels like, oh man, this is worth or this is worthy of the work that Tim put into it, and the beautiful writing that's found all throughout it. So that made me feel really good, and just getting to open the box and the substantial feeling of that, and seeing all the stuff, just seeing it come to life is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think for art especially, it's one thing to get an art order and to see it on screen and digitally, but when it's actually in the book and on the paper, on the maps, it's a whole different kind of thing where it's just a different level of real. I mean, it's really nice to be able to just pick, oh my God, this is great. We can play it. I can show it off to players. Like, so folks, this is the map of the Holler. And the funny thing is, so I ordered 2 of these, and instead of giving me 2 of the maps, because I wanted to be able to put up both on the wall, like the actual Ashdown factory, they sent me 2 box sets.
Yeah, I mean that seems the way they roll, right? It's like, well, you want something that's in the box set, let's just send you a box set.
Right. So thanks, Studio 2. I appreciate it. The second one will find a good home. But I mean, like it's just I'd be able to like look at the detail and just like zoom in on the map. And to be able to see where certain items are in comparison with other places, and then just the little details that show up, like when you're looking at the Ashdown section. That I mean, I guess you could zoom in on your computer and really appreciate them, but I don't know, for some reason, just being able to hold it in your hand is different than being able to just see stuff on the screen. So. Yeah, John Doom, thanks for buying. We appreciate you supporting. And yeah, it's nice and chunky and heavy. So we'll get into the box here in a second. But let's see. Okay, chat. What should we look at first? The map packs or the limited edition?
Ooh.
Let's see. Lollygaggers, any opinion on? Because I mean, I haven't touched my limited edition yet. It is gorgeous. Although I do remember like the mock-up, we put the Holler on top, and now the Holler's in the bottom. And it's so cool. We'll do the limited edition, executive decision right now. So the cool thing, I don't know if you can see the detail, but it's like old bound books where the stitching is just underneath the leather. So that's on the side. You can get a profile shot of that. Let me see if I can get something that's a little more wide in the background, so you can kind of see it's very 3D. The stamping, I'm impressed. It's not just like a little applique. It's actually embossed on the cover, and then it has texture inside of it. So it's really, I don't know if the camera will ever really do it justice, but it looks pretty snazzy, Tim. Tim, you're a classy dude, and your book's pretty classy. I like that. Cool. And then the inside, the pages, you've got the map of the Holler again is on both of the start and the back on the end papers. And black end paper, super, super nice. Mine's not customized because Tim didn't know this one was coming to me. And this one didn't make around. But anyone who gets one, Tim did sign all of them. How was your hand after that?
Well, I lost the ability to like curl back and make the R in my name. And so probably about 100 of them is looks like Tim Ely, which is fine. I just it would not curl back. So I just like,
So John Doom asked for the sniff test, and it smells fantastic. So the leatherette has its own nice kind of classy smell, like a nice shoe polish. And then the interior pages, I think these are for all Pinnacle books, but it's on that really nice glossy paper, and before printing ink, it does smell nice. Like it is here we go. Of course, sheep scotch.
Oh sure.
Yeah. And the squash skin has been cured. And
sure.
It's, smells like a bit like possum, but
how many of our viewers would even know the reference? Like, really?
It's redolent of possum.
I mean, Tim, just proving you are a true son of Appalachia. I don't know. In Denver, there's like skunk or something else that is legal here now. You play the game, and anymore you play the game. It used to be more often skunk than not, but now it's never skunk. Look, here we go. I'm in there too. My little name, Chris Landauer. It's there on the thanks. I appreciate that. I mean, it is really kind of cool looking at all the people it takes to to bring all these things together, because it is a really kind of massive box set. Like all the art that's inside. Speaking of the art, So the relationship with Prenzi, Francisco Chiappara, it's not over, dude. You've got some really cool other stuff coming up with him.
Yeah,
So talk about that for a bit.
we're doing a graphic novel together with Outland Entertainment. We've done a nice, good stretch of it so far. Both the script and the art, lettering is the next step, and that will be coming out at some point in the future. We don't have a date yet, but it's Francesco's work is just really exciting in the comic book, and it's sitting there now without the words, and I'm like, we don't just let's just have Francesco's illustrations. My dialogue is embarrassingly insufficient to
No, it isn't.
hook on.
No, it isn't.
But it's just so good. I just love looking at it and the detail it gets and the expressiveness of the characters' faces. He's just really, really talented at what he does.
Yes.
And he draws in this sort of like big, sweeping, cartoony fashion, and it's very vibrant colors. We were in sync on the color palette from day one, and I don't know how much Francesco knows about Appalachian culture, or if he knows anything about Appalachia, but he got the vibe instantly and just enhanced so many things that we were doing.
My impression, this is my first look, so I haven't had a copy. I didn't get any of the preview copies. It's so saturated and warm on the page. It is just lush. Like it feels homey almost. Like this is, I love it. There's a warmth, a kind of light to it. I mean, I don't know. Again, these probably won't come on camera, but just seeing it on the page, and then I think the colors. Whoever picked the colors for the ribbons, kind of unusual choices. Like a very saturated orange, a nice deep burgundy red, and then a green. But they kind of fit the Halloween warmy tones that are kind of the color palette that's in the art too. And
that's probably Simon. Simon made some fantastic choices with the final production and just little details that brought it together. Just like the trees in the bottom of the box, which I freaked out about when I first opened it. And
I haven't even gotten to see that yet. Yeah, we'll get there soon. We'll definitely dig into the box. But and here's some more art. I don't think we showed either of these two pieces during the campaign. But what is that ostrich-looking fella right there?
That's a taker bird. That's based on a story by Manly Wade Wellman, who's a terrific Appalachian horror writer, gothic writer. He wrote sci-fi, wrote all sorts of stuff. But his work's really, really cool, and if you haven't checked it out, it's a really great resource for Holler. But the taker bird is just he comes and he asks for things, and you give them to him, and he devours them, and he can devour almost anything, right?
He's a big fella too.
He's quite a large fella, but there's always a price for the taking, for the giving. For the deal you make with him, for what he wants. He always wants more. It's hard to fill up that belly. So be careful what you give to him, because he's just going to want more. And then on the other one, it's just the worker ghoul. Standard worker ghoul.
It's so gorgeous, though. I mean, I love seeing these. So, the Kickstarters really do matter, folks. I mean, we are going to do these settings, success or not on crowdfunding, but how much art we order and get in, how much extras, all the kind of lush kind of things really does depend on the Kickstarters. And so a lot of this art I haven't seen because it was commissioned by the funds from the Kickstarter and
Absolutely.
came in, afterwards. So it's great being able to see these. I know you guys put in art orders, so you're a little more connected to what got done, but
I hadn't seen the backs of the pawns, right. I hadn't seen those, and those were really cool to see.
The other thing about the limited edition is it's got this is dumb, but it matters. It's got the little curved pages. The edges of the pages are curved, and I don't think that's true on the regular book.
No, I'm pretty sure. I think that's custom to that.
It's just a little thing, but it makes a difference.
Oh, that is neat. I like that. So a lot of folks back and they buy our map packs. So on the map packs, we put these covers on them so that they're available for retail. So that we have an ISBN number on them and the code and all that stuff, and you can tell what they are. Because a lot of folks just are map collectors in this space. So we make sure we have extra prints available. But Oh, I think this is, we didn't have these for the campaign to really show in detail. And so the maps are big, folks. So again, I'm a big dude, and they're double sided. So this one's got the speakeasy on it, and then the back has got the textile mill. And so you can see these amazing little, like, the details really cool. If you get up, you can see like the looms. So those are actual like textile looms.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever saw that movie, was it Wanted, with Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy? They get messages in the loom on who to assassinate. It's pretty cool. And the back is the speakeasy. So there's the inside and the outside with the
gouger circle.
The gouger circle. So these are huge. I mean, these are, you have to have a Carolina game table if you want to put these out on your table. They're pretty nicely sized, and they're like the nice lamination on them. So they're not over laminated, where it's not a clear. It's like the lamination is inconspicuous. It's not like if you go to like a middle school and get something laminated where it's it's all clear and there's clear borders. Like the borders are nice and crisp, but you can do wet and dry erase on these. And so those are pretty cool. So let's see. We'll get to the second one and we'll actually dig into the box. But Tim, while we got you here, but Christian's got mentioned that the conviction coins. We'll pull up that comment when we get into the box and show folks those. So one thing that I think is super cool, and actually it touched my heart watching you post it, is you got to show this to your family.
Yeah.
Did they know you're a gamer? Did you explain what gaming is to them? Does that translate, or how'd that go?
Yeah, well, I started, I played when I was 10, and even though I was raised Southern Baptist and, in a pretty conservative, small town, they let me get the red box, and they let me play D&D, and me and my brother played D&D. I started playing, very early, and played with my cousin, and it was all, family I was playing with. And we'd stay up all night at my grandmother's house because she would allow such chicanery. We play from 6 in the evening until sunlight sometimes. So they knew that I did it when I was younger. And I think, my mother was probably surprised to hear that I had returned to it and was actually making a game. My brother thinks it's really cool. He's played D&D some in the interim. And we play with each other now. I'm running a little duet campaign for him now, which has been a lot of fun. And we're going to play Holler when we finish with our current campaign. But yeah,
it's my rules. I made the game.
Yeah, and he's a really good player. He's really smart, really, really tactical, very fun to play with. And we couldn't be more different or more sort of like politically or ideologically opposed. It's just very different humans in a lot of ways, but it doesn't matter. We bond very deeply over all sorts of things, including gaming. And he loves Holler. And he has, my brother, for his entire adult life, he's worked in like industrial settings. He worked in a heat valve factory for 20-something years. He builds cabinets now. He's always been a blue-collar worker, and he hasn't worked in a textile mill, but he's worked in a plastics plant. And, he's done that shift work day after day after day, year after year after year. And when I told him what the game was about, he thought it was pretty cool. And he said, "Let me guess, you're on the side of the union, right?" No, I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. People can do what they want. There's no directive. And he was like, "Okay." And so it was okay then, when he knew I wasn't trying to be political. I was just trying to have fun. And so we've had a great time with it and talking about it. He's been very curious about it. So it was really awesome to show them. My dad is suffering from dementia, but he still retains a lot, and you never know quite. But he was like, "Oh, is this Holler?" And so he remembered us talking about it. And my mom's always just a little suspicious. She's afraid I'm going to write something or say something that will embarrass the family. Sometimes we'll be playing, my brother and I will be playing a role-playing game. She'll come by, she'll overhear something from the table. And my brother still lives at home, right? And she'll say, that's what he goes by. "Don't let them find out about that at work." And like he's like plotting like to overthrow the church hierarchy in this fictional world, and she's worried that they're going to find out about it at work, and he could potentially get in trouble for these subversive actions. So there's some territory to navigate.
Well, so I got a picture. So this is the family
awesome.
checking it out.
It was really cool.
This just touches my heart. It's such an amazing thing being able to like share a magnum opus, a creation with your folks and your brother, and so yeah, seeing that grin on your brother's face, just being able to flip through like the reality of it that's super cool.
He's very excited about it, and we're going to play, and it'll be fun. I'm sure he'll be a moonshiner. That's my guess.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, glory. So I just showed the other map. It was the requisition yard and the wooded valley. The wooded valley is actually really cool.
Yeah.
So the requisition, like if you look at the requisition yard, like there's tires, and I admit that was on the circle, but like I'm like, man, those are really 3D like actual tires. Like the
That's awesome. Yeah, Alita Saxon did all the maps. And
here's the tire pilot. So I get it in there. It's like that looks like an actual pile of tires.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see these like this is totally like a little nod to like Stranger Things, right? Like, oh, let's go to the quarry, or let's go to the water feature is such a part of the horror genre, and I love it. I mean, they're super fun. I can't wait to actually get the pawns out and just see what they look like on the actual setting. But so let's dig in the actual box. I mean, so again, thick box, folks. This is gorgeous cover. The box has all the stuff on the back, and it's pretty.
Oh yeah.
For the Simon. Yeah, it's a thud box. So everybody who got in the Kickstarter got a great deal because it's retailing for $119.99, and there's a lot more value in there too. I mean, like that's the thing with Shane. It's crazy, like being behind the scenes. Whenever there's a question on value, he's like, make it lower the price, like put more in. Let's do more. Let's make like. Kickstarter stuff. It's just like, let's make it a deal, with not even just versus retail, but like, even if they have to pay the shipping and all that's going to be cheaper than what they're going to be able to get anywhere else and all that stuff. It's like, it's so cool working for someone that really does care like that about the players and about people getting the stuff. And
the leatherette edition was Shane's idea, and he didn't have to do that.
Yeah, and like literally just like during one of the meetings during the Kickstarter was going fantastically.
Yeah,
it's like, let's just give everybody the limited edition for free. Like I want people to have this. I don't want them to make the choice on having to choose. Let's get it out there because we are backing Holler. Holler is going to be a long-term thing for us. And so let's make a statement in the industry that to our fans, like this is, you can have the deluxe cool awesome thing that and it so fits this game too. I mean the smell. Oh, glorious. It's fresh. So I do have another map. I didn't realize one came in. So yes. Oh, the pawns. So you were saying the pawn backs. This is actually something really cool. I love Jess for this, and then like the art orders are really funny it's not always the same artist who does the backs as does the front for all of our other settings, but I'm pretty sure Frenzy did these. But like, I mean, can you imagine being an artist and you've already done the cool picture, and then you have to figure out the silhouette and then how to do the back so it makes sense too.
You have to draw everybody's ass.
Right, draw some asses, and so like there's like squatch ass, and then
usually Alita has somebody else do the backs, but I don't know that was the case in this one.
Those look like Prenzy backs to me. Just
right. If you ever wonder what the back of a pumpkin looks like, well now you know. Oh my god, these are so cool. The pawn concept, especially the way we're doing it, where it's like it's on the gloss, so the color really does pop. They look so good. Here's a new piece of art. So tell me about this dude. He looks like he's a little zombified, and he's got the little damage to his head, and he's wearing kind of a nice business suit with the armband, but he's definitely not healthy. Like.
No, that's the driver, the ghost driver in one of the Savage Tales. I forget his name. Tim probably knows it off the top of his head, though.
I should know it off the top of my head.
I'm looking. Hold on, I've got it right here.
It's Hoyt Burhart.
Yeah, Burhart.
Meant to sound like Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
So he's the dude driving the ghost car down the mountain.
That's right.
Awesome. Hoyt Burhart.
It's in the Rubbing is Racing. Savage Tale.
Oh, look what you guys did. So there actually is a little owl too. I hate that the camera doesn't. There's an owl. Oh my god, that's my fave.
That's just like a regular owl, everybody.
Just like an owl.
Just an owl.
Just free towel.
Nothing special.
That makes up for me not getting my lunch lady in
Sure. Yeah, you're still not going to get the lunch.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Lunch lady.
For Pine Box and lunch lady. That's terrific.
I'm gonna have to like submit a story that requires lunch lady. But
Yeah.
oh, the big ones. Oh, look how large. Oh my god. So like, this is like normal.
Yeah.
They're huge.
I love the Piney King. Yeah.
Oh, Piney King works out. He does not skip leg day.
No.
Oh my god.
And it's neat because it's really is to scale. You stick one of those archetypes right next to the human the Piney King is holding, and it holds up just right. You know.
That's so cool. Look at Piney King. I mean, because I've got basketball player hands. I'm like, they have nothing for reference. Here we go. Here's an Xbox controller for reference. It's as big as an Xbox controller.
Nice.
Oh my god, that is the coolest.
Size 7, the Piney King is.
Oh, so cool. Does he have was it Stomp or the one that like allows them to target even though they're big? They can still target you.
Yeah, it's
sweep.
Swipes or
swipe. Yeah,
no,
swipe.
It's not swipe. It's something else, but it's I forget.
Yeah, he can sweep one limb.
Yeah, I mean he's dangerous. You don't want to mess with the Piney King.
Oh my god! And all the way down to like the little fairies too. Let's see. Where's
the fairies are cool. Those are cool.
Oh my god! So there are 4 whole sheets of these. Oh, I'm in love already. And it's gonna be a long time till we get to your conviction tokens, Christian, because oh my god, there's so much in this box. This is what the box looks like after that. And down here are all of the bennies. Let's see. Okay, the boxes start out. So first thing that comes out are the scene setters. And these are just cool pieces of art that can give you guys the mood. You can pass them around the table, show your players, what they're looking at, and we give you a nice little stack of these. And so those are just great storytelling aids. And then here are all the archetype cards. Bluegrass Picker, and then I wonder who's on the back. Whoever's on the back has a grudge.
Oh, they all have a grudge, but
I'll have a grudge.
Let's see.
I'll have a grudge against the big boys to give you some motivation if you're playing in a one shot or at a convention.
And these are a good size too. I mean, they're nice, big enough you can easily read them. The custom action deck. Okay. See, I mean, this box set's a really good deal. So like the action deck, we got to sell it for like $19.99 by itself. And a lot of this stuff you can't even get by itself. Like, here's the thing: is like these are like wonderful at the table, but it's really hard for us to put these into retail, right? Because we need a box and a SKU.
Yeah, there's too few of them, right? So
right, and then you get customers who are like, I want the book, I don't want this, or I just budgeted for the book, and then this will be on the shelf, and people are like, what is this? I have no context for what this is, and so this is stuff that's really hard for us to put into retail, but we want this to be able to play the game with. And
it's invaluable. It's so nice. As a GM at the table, when you can just say, hey, look at this awesome art in this archetype card.
Oh, these are double sealed. Look at this. So oversized action cards. So Tim, what is the monster on the ace?
Oh, that's a Mothman. That's the moth in our game. He's the moth. Yeah.
He may portend of terrible things or good things. It
could be good tidings. Could be bad tidings. It's often up to the interpreter,
Yeah, it is.
Is there a Miss Cleo? Is there? I mean, is there Granny women? They have the abilities. Okay, so gorgeous. Let's shuffle through some of these.
The face cards are great. Piney King's a king, of course. Fey Queen's queen.
Nice.
That's a Goat Man. Goat Man of Shadrach.
Love it. I love it. And then this one's good. Oh
yeah, Granny Woman as an ace. I like that choice. Simon made these designations, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did.
Royster Whitaker, a king. He's one of the big boys, maybe the main big boy. Very powerful big boy anyway. Oh, little peddler, one of the archetypes.
Oh, wasn't that Sam Ashdown? Not Royster Whitaker.
Oh yeah, that's Samuel Ashdown.
Yeah. That's Sam Ashdown.
That's Samuel Ashdown.
He might be the big.
Oh yeah, he's the mad scientist and the textile magnet.
So then, I love this art. This is me.
That's the stalker.
That's a stalker.
I just like the beaver hat. Is that a beaver hat? Beaver. beaver with nice fangs. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, this one's a good one too.
That's our lumberjack or logger.
Nice.
There's our mountaineer.
Mountaineer.
Yep.
The holy roller.
Holy roller. Who figures prominently in the graphic novel.
Yep.
There's a bluegrass picker.
picker.
Who I always associate with Daryl Hayhurst.
Exactly. All I was just about to say. He would make up songs. Just on
the
the
great
fly.
song, yeah.
They were great.
That's
like
what
several verses of Percy Ray Bunch.
Another big boy.
I just love this setting. Like it allows for that. It gives you the license for that. I mean, the choice to make this really graphic, saturated comic style art also, I think, gives you the visual freedom to say that. I mean, yes, this is drawing on historical themes and real world themes, but it's a game, and you can make it fun and make it daring and make it better than life and worse than life, and I just love that. It really. It's kind of like a party, right? Like the reason you decorate for a party is to get people into the mood and to set, this is different than your day-to-day stuff. And Jess would love this. Queen of Spades. Hey, Jess,
Minnie Mae Fugate. Jess did a great job.
That's who she played, yeah.
Yeah. Moonshiner.
Yeah, there you go. There's your brother. And the Jokers. Ooh, good choices for the Jokers.
I agree. Bloody Bones.
Bloody Bones and the Pumpkinhead.
Yep. Hill Demon, Pumpkinhead.
Oh, those look so good. Oh, it's so much fun. I mean, I don't know. It's totally like playing G.I. Joe or House, and but all the little accessories. I just think is. I mean, that's what I think I really love about Savage World. I mean, the system is fantastic, but the ability to accessorize it. I mean, it gets everybody in the mood. All my favorite game masters love putting on a show for conventions, right? Like you go to conventions and it's not just sit down and have a game with a piece of paper that's got maybe a nice character sheet. Oh, that's another thing too. Is do we have a custom Holler character sheet? If not, we're making one.
We do.
We do. Okay, cool.
Yep, it's in the back of the book, and it's also probably downloadable. It should be downloadable online too.
Okay, that's cool. That's another thing we're doing is like, hey guys, we have these really great people like Thomas Shook and Carl Kiesler. And there we go. There's a Holler.
The neat thing about the character sheet is that it has blight advances, right? So
if you're using blight corruption,
when you corrupt by being exposed to the blight or doing something that the GM says you need to make a roll and you fail, you take an advance, and then you also you take a hindrance, an associated hindrance based on your personality. And then if you take too many, you're corrupted out of the game. But we have a special place in the character sheet for those particular advances and hindrances.
That's cool. So the Hainted table is on one of the bookmarks, which is really kind of cool. Then let's see, in the other bookmark, there's the injury table. So let me see.
Oh yeah, the industrial accidents table.
Is it just that's just a regular injury table. When you're fist fighting as a gouger, that'll come up.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the one that's got the cabin on it is got the raise calculator on the back. So just in case, bad at math, here we go. Just keep that in front of you and you can get your raises. And then the common states on the other side of the woods one. I love this one that's on the GM screen, right? It's the super long piece of art. I just love what he did. I think there's the cool tones on the one side with the stormy, wintry, and then there's the cabin with the warm tones on the other side. So this one's got distracted, fatigue, shaken, vulnerable, and stun on the back. So when you come up against Chief Squatch and he pops you in the face, that's what Tim and I were talking about before stream. We're like, there's nothing that can really prepare you for getting hit in the face. And so we were speaking up to boxing and other martial arts where it's amazing how you can run a marathon for hours and hours, but you're doing 3 minutes in the ring with someone else who's trying to punch you is totally different experience. So
especially with a gouger who's got the gouger edge, because that thing is brutal.
Losing an eye does kind of raise the stakes a little bit more than Marcus of Queensberry rules. Oh my God! So these are one well packaged, but we gave a lot of these. So I think we used to give 20 bennies, and I think now we're giving 25 because the bennies must flow. But the nice thing about these is they do have the Holler logo on one side, and I think is it a variety or are they all the mine?
Yeah, I think there's about 4 different.
Yeah, there's about like 4 different pieces of art spread among them. So, or 4 or 5 or something like that.
Satisfying clicky clack, and those are cool. Love those. Christian, we will get to your convention tokens because those are awesome, and they're in here somewhere, I think. Or maybe
They're not in the box; they're separate.
Oh, I didn't get those then because I didn't.
Okay, I have them. Right here.
And you, Tracy, show them off.
So they come in this. Here, I'll start from scratch. I already opened the cellophane inside because I was anticipating being able to show them off. But they come in this little bag. If you see that,
I do have them. They did send them.
Oh no!
You do.
Don't forget the bag, folks. We did have some people in the box that not realize there was cards.
Oh yeah. There's a tiny little bag in there.
Don't miss the bag.
And then inside we have 5 conviction tokens, and they are made of metal, and they are engraved. So it's really cool. So on one side we have Holler conviction, and that's reliefed. So there's texture there. And then on the other side, we have the tree of life that we had Francesco do for us. And a little bit of trivia, and again, this is in relief. It's very cool. And then the edge, you can see the edge has got some ridges on it also. So it's really high quality, really nice, and it's got some heft to it too. But that tree, it's a conviction token, right? We knew it was going to be on the conviction token because we had decided that. And I wanted to end the plot point campaign with like the you win, here's what happens, here's some emotive writing, and then the conviction token, like the tree, to show like this is a freedom fighter's this is the ending. I thought that was kind of a neat touch, and it makes me feel good when I open to that page and I read that ending, and I hope that resonates with people when they get to the ending of the plot point campaign, because Tim wrote an amazing campaign, amazing. Like it is start to finish outstanding, and we ran through it twice and loved it.
Oh, so see, I just love all the love. I mean, like if you guys, I hopefully the audience realizes, but we really love Holler in house. It is such a spirit lifting project, right? It's so cool something like this exists. It's so unique in the space. It's really fun to play. And so the next thing I got, I like it. And that bag is really kind of cool too. It's a little like a gold.
It's like a burlap kind of thing. Yeah, like a mini burlap bag.
That's cool. That's good job, Simon. It's hard to give Simon compliments. We pretend he doesn't exist a lot of times, but Simon, you did good, buddy.
Just to give you do you hear?
The clink of conviction.
Nothing quite sounds like metal, right? It's like plastic just doesn't clink the same way. So with the GM screen, there's actually a really nice, this booklet, it's not just a front piece, is a 32-page adventure, and what we call it, Savior of Hollow's Oak, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Savior of Hollow Oak. Yep.
Oh,
and then winners are coming, one by Tracy, one by Daryl.
Oh, look at that.
2 adventures.
So Tracy, tell us what do we get in Savior of Hollow Oak? What's the
Well, my intent in writing Savior of Hollow Oak was to capture what the archetypal adventure of the Holler is to me, right? I read Tim's thing, his book, his manuscript. I played in a little of his campaign, and I'm like, I'm gonna write what I think is and that's one of my favorite pieces of art in the Holler, period. That's Polly the Pixie. And she's a very specific and sort of unique character, I think. And my hope is that she'll show up later as we sort of start to do more stuff for the Holler. But Savior of Hollow Oak is the archetypal adventure, I think, in which I wanted it to have both heart and feels and have those moments of realness with the characters of the Holler, so that we make sure we know that they're not stereotypical, and we don't play into those kind of tropes, but also some horror aspects. Like it absolutely has those, but it also has hope, and it has humor, plenty of humor, between Polly and if anyone's playing Percy Ray Bunch opposite her. Well, really, Polly will make anybody a straight man, so whoever you bring to the party, it's going to be an entertaining encounter. And then, of course, the bad guy, which is, it's complicated, but the preacher in Hollow Oak is a flim flam man. It's very obvious from the very first moment you meet him, but there's a very evocative, I think, introduction to him and the town and the adventure that grabs you, that really grabs both your characters and the players, hopefully, and then you're invested. You're invested, and it also has this little girl who if you do it right, you'll come to care about very much. So that's what it has, and it has action. It also has investigation, and it has a mystery to solve.
That's excellent. And so then Daryl wrote Winter's a Coming, and I'm just,
Yep.
since Daryl's not here, I'm going to sneak on a little preview of one of the early adventure encounter maps. And I love it with the snow. It's very cool seeing a map with snow. That is awesome.
Yeah, Daryl's adventure is awesome too. It's got different aspects. So it's got Family Feud stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's got some
social ostracism.
Yeah, social ostracism. That's what I'm looking for. It has all that kind of aspects of the Holler, but it does it in a way that not only feels authentic, but also feels like heartfelt in a way. It has those aspects of it, and it's another mystery to solve. And if you don't solve it, you still have to deal with Tennis Winter, who's on his way to destroy the entire town unless you do something. So it's very Daryl. It's totally very Daryl, and it's a great.
It was
adventure.
really fun to play. He ran us through it, and it was so much fun.
And there's a name pun, so I'm gonna love it because it's like the Winter is a dude. So
yes,
I like that.
Tennis Winter is his name. I've got him right here. He's a bad dude. You don't want to mess with Tennis Winter.
Oh, so good, so good. So Billy Berserker, we will definitely. I think when we're doing a little bit revamp of the site, we're going to kind of change how stuff is displayed, and I think we're going to have a whole section on character sheets. We definitely want to have more customizable character sheets and some variant character sheets. So we will fix that ASAP to make sure that you can get your character sheet.
Yeah, it should be up there. We'll make sure that it is.
Oh, and then right. This is happy birthday, Daryl. If you're watching, you shouldn't be watching. You should be off having fun. But if you see this in review, happy birthday, Daryl.
Today is Daryl's birthday. I took him out.
81. Congratulations. Oh, and then Jody's not 50. Jody's so 49. So I mean, this I think this is my favorite piece of art in the whole thing. It goes from these. Let's see, how do I get this on? So like there's one side with like the warm cabin, and just looks nice and inviting and safe. And then you get in the middle. Well, maybe the world isn't so safe. There's definitely this large kind of blight cloud and the ominous moon and the eyes there in the forest sticking out. And then kind of the very cold tones. And then the trees almost have, the bark almost looks like ruins and kind of old Celtic magic stuff. And love it. So good. And then
that's
folks,
witchwood trees, right? And they're related to the boogeyman tree too. So that was a very specific choice that Tim made, and then we sort of brought to life in art.
So then folks get all the tables they need. I think there's even a little section on the dialect too on one of these things. Mm-hmm. I think this one I already showed. I think this one it's got a little
Appalachian dialect and accent.
I
wanted to put the folks generator on there, but it wouldn't fit. So we ended up doing other stuff.
Yeah, it's quite a few pages.
It's a monster, but it's so good. It's so good.
Wow. So this is the MS the at store. If you missed the campaign, this is what Holler is going to look like for you. It is also super gorgeous. It's got the spot UV, so you can see the characters up front have an extra coating on them, and so does Holler. And it's kind of three of the main character, the archetypes we have overlooking one of the little the factories. And it is great seeing it in real life. And then of course Daryl's on the back.
Yeah, that's right.
But you're right, Tracy. It's all sharp corners versus
the rounded off corners of the special edition, the limited edition. Yeah.
So here are these two together.
Just a little touch. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's so neat. That's so fun. And yeah, like Tim said. Oh, and also don't forget the dice. So those are hidden in the box. And then there's a cool owl.
It's a green one with an owl on it for the
Wild
wild die.
I love the owl as a mascot. That is super cool. That's definitely Tim, the wise man, Tim. And yeah, there's the hint of the witchwood trees in the back of the box. It's just kind of a nice little, instead of being plain. Wow, that is super cool. Super cool. Yeah, I'm so happy. So like there was about this time of year, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago. So Tim and I were standing outside of the game lounge on Colfax in Denver, talking about, and we were playing. We just played. I think we played the. Okay, was it the Arby's game or Wendy's when they came out?
Oh, the Wendy's game, maybe.
Oh, yeah, Wendy's,
we had a one-shot group in Denver that was awesome and lasted for a while. About 6 or 7 different people who could run games, and we would just play something different every Sunday. And Chris was a big part of that. It was so much fun. Yeah.
I was after one of those nights. I mean, like since Tim had just sent me like the link to the Google Doc, which was the draft, and just to think like from there, I went home and like read it immediately, and it's like, oh, I had to drive an hour and a half home too, so I was thinking like, oh my God, I got to read this. So I did not read and drive. I waited the whole time in the, but it was like very much like a day like today. It was really cold outside. It was just about to snow, and we stayed outside talking about it too long. I was like, why didn't we not just do this inside when it was so warm and whatever? But it was like, I was so excited to talk to Tim about Holler as a setting and to see what's, hey, I'll help you edit or whatever. And seeing it real now. I mean, like I can show my friends like I know the guy who wrote this, and it's so cool. It's so cool. The I don't know. I'm just enamored by the fact that it just seeing the process from. I mean, how long have you been working for? I mean, like that's a question I don't know if we've asked. Like, when was the first idea that you might want to write an Appalachian setting?
I wrote the first words on Holler April 2019. It was just like 2 pages of archetypes and archetype descriptions, some of which made it into the final form, some of which didn't. And then I just went from there. Did a jump start. I got an ACE license for it maybe in June or July of 2019. The Savage Cruise, I was supposed to go on the Savage Cruise. I was going to be running it. Shane was going to be at the table. A lot of pressure. A couple of things happened. My dog died that I'd had for 12 years, and I just love my dogs.
Is that Tansy?
No, that's a Kimmy. He was a little Japanese chin. And I was just bummed out, and I just didn't feel like going. And so I didn't go.
Well, and also it was gonna conflict with your residency that also got.
Oh yeah, in Scotland. I thought I was going to Scotland too. That was the other thing, and then that fell through for various reasons. But
so I got Shane. I'm like, Shane, you got to run it. We got people already signed up. Sorry, Shane, you're gonna have to run this. And Shane was like, he was nervous. I've never seen Shane nervous running. He was nervous to run your game, and I think he almost killed everybody with a bear.
Oh yeah, with a bear.
Yeah, he emailed me and asked, send me whatever you got, whatever you're going to run. And so I sent him a bunch of stuff, and I thought that was kind of exciting because I didn't know he was going to run it. I just thought the game wouldn't happen, but he wanted to make it happen anyway. So he ran it. He liked it. And then when he got back from the cruise, about 3 days after he got back from the cruise, he said, I want to Zoom with you. And that's when he, first thing he said, I want to offer you a contract for the game.
That's so good.
And I was freaking out afterward. I was, I can't believe it. So
yeah, I had a little forewarning on that call. Was we talked to the crews after we ran the game, and I was just like, oh, Tim is gonna shit a brick. And I'm so glad that he loved running it, and it's so cool. It's just so cool. I'm so happy that you're part of the family now. And I mean, heck, all the other stuff that changed. But I wasn't working for Pinnacle at the time either. Like way back when, it was just part of like the Rocky Mountain Savages, and knowing that Shane was a Virginia kid. And we would appreciate it, and it was just so good. I mean, like that was the thing. It's like when you were talking about it, even in its nascent form, it was super obvious that this is special, right? Like this is something cool that, and nothing against high fantasy, but there's just so much of it, right? There's so much, and it's so hard to do something different, right? There's a lot of people have really leveled a lot of ground for high fantasy. A lot of stuff has been done, and this was just like I've never heard of a game like this. The themes are amazing. I can't wait to play it. I'll definitely need some hand holding for it, but that's the great thing about how what Holler really evolved into is that it's super playable. I mean, the fact
Really
that you get
accessible. Yeah.
the choice to do the microcosm and to kind of wall it off, so you don't, I think like I tried to run a historical Rome game with weirdness, and the one thing it wasn't walled off. It was like you could be anywhere, any kind of player character from anywhere in the world. And I had one person in the party of like 7 or 8, and it ended up being like 11 after this group kind of. But it was like only one actually chose to be a native born Roman in the Legion, and it's just like I had all this stuff that was kind of Rome Legion tie-ins, and it was like, oh, I got a guy from Greece, and I got a guy from the Celtic Hibernians, and I got it was it was worldwide. And it was like I think I opened it up too much. It was too much work for me to be able to like bring in all those things to be cool. And here by just having that sealed off kind of focus, I think it's great. I mean, like, yes, it could fit into something like Deadlands. It could be into the at a certain point in the Weird West, or like the noir. It could totally work with those themes.
Sure.
But it doesn't have to. I mean, there's no pressure to bring in those other things. You can really kind of have an intimate experience with the themes and it's the right size sandbox, right? I think that's one of the problems a lot of people have with sandbox is they don't know how big of a sandbox to have. If by sandbox you mean anything is available and just do what you want, a lot of times those campaigns lose focus because players don't know how to be game masters, right? They shouldn't be. Here it's the perfect size sandbox. It's got a whole ton of stuff, and I mean I can see developing this for years and years and years to come, right? There's just any kind of detail, any little nook in the Holler that you want to expand upon can be an adventure or an adventure path, and but it's not so kitchen sinky that only the game master really knows, right? Like you can really get players in on that. So
yeah, I think it's better on its own. There's a very specific experience you have playing it, and if you start mixing in, I mean, you can. It absolutely can. It's compatible, but I think it's better as it's in its pure form, because if you start mixing in other elements, it starts to lose what it is, and what it is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Like we could go on and on about it, but it's everything from the bestiary, which is phenomenal, to the oppression of the big boys, but also there's a feeling of how you play these characters that you would lose if you start introducing Deadlands elements into it, So that's why that's my pitch for leaving it on its own at least once and seeing how it goes.
Well, and that's so. I know I don't want to spend too much time on this, but we do have a Kickstarter running for Legend of Ghost Mountain, and I think these are kind of the two most similar properties in Pinnacle's oeuvre right now, in the sense that they aren't part of the Deadlands. And Deadlands is spread out. There's Deadlands in space and Deadlands in New Orleans and all that kind of stuff. So they're not part of that greater Deadlands family. Mm-hmm. There isn't really something similar we've done for either project before. So they are kind of self-contained in that regard, but they are also both kind of new settings, new properties. A lot of the same stuff that we showed tonight that's in the box will also be in the Legend of Ghost Mountain box. A few differences. No big piney.
But 6 pages of pawns, I think. Is that right? I mean, we had what, 4 or 3?
I think
there was at least 4. I think it's 4.
I think 4. Yeah, I know. So 6 pages of pawns, and then Ghost Mountain will hopefully have a map, a fabric map.
Yeah, I don't know if Ghost Mountain will get as many unique pawns, because I think there are a couple big set piece battles.
Yeah, that's true. There's absolutely mass battles, and Daryl wanted a bunch of one thing. Yeah.
And so I haven't seen the spec sheets yet, but I think that's part of it. And and then there's like the Dragon Mini, maybe a cloth map. But I mean the Holler, like so, there will not be an ethically sourced human or other animal skin book for Legend of Ghost Mountain, so this is super special. I love the ribbons, though. Those are super neat. I haven't decided where I want to put those yet on what the good reference pages are, but I don't know.
Folks generator, I'm telling you.
I'm so excited for Legend of Ghost Mountain, though, just because it's Daryl's unique, inventive brain. He's so good with rules and setting and adventures. He can do everything, and he does it really well. And he has like a deep knowledge of that genre and it's going to kick ass. And I got my Holler box, and it was about the same time Ghost Mountain was kicking off, and I was like, I pledged full box on Ghost Mountain within the first 2 hours, I think, as soon as I got to my computer, because I just know it's going to be like epic. I can't wait to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing though too, is that it's the campaign for Holler was over a year ago, right? And we're glad that our timelines are definitely like getting a little tighter and a little easier. We are starting to run into some of the supply chain issues. Like I think a lot of our Holler made it through with the cards on the card stock that we loved, the old style card stock. So that's great. But we had to find a whole new supplier for card stock for the cards. And that was a little obnoxious. So I think every like 4 or 5 projects that we've got in the pipeline all had to be delayed by a month because we had to go and it was either use card stock that was of a lesser density, and like, nope, not going to do it. Like, we want these to stand up. We want these to be, shuffleable, playable at the table, droppable. Spill water on them and you brush it off fast enough and they don't melt. That's what we wanted, and so we had to wait to get even better card stock. So that was a struggle, and but I mean we are definitely firming up the timelines and be able to get you stuff. But it's for like Ghost Mountain folks, it's like, yeah, we want you to you're going to be back in campaign now, but you're not going to be able to like thud your box for several months, and so and also just for folks who are new to us, like we've had for some strange reason. A lot of not renewed but new interest in Savage Worlds. We sold out of our core book. I think I ordered like 4 of the like final copies with it. My SPC order came in, and so if you guys are new, we have other stuff like Super Powers Companion. There's a horror companion that just got crowdfunded with Tracy's amazing project on Pine Box Middle School. That also has a box set. So again, clunky. You got to wait a little bit, but it's so cool. But yeah, we're all out of these, and we'd already ordered more. They're coming in March, but we got to wait till March to get the shipment for those. And but I think, I mean, I'll stop talking. I'm ranting on how cool this system is. But the thing I like about Holler and Legend of Ghost Mountain is they really show how very different you can play Savage Worlds. It is, there's just different tools, different styles, different feel of play, and So I mean, Tracy, like, why don't you comment on just like how different is Holler from Pine Box Middle School from the other things that you've been working on? Like, how do those play in your mind when you run them? And
I mean, it's radically different, right? The archetype characters in Holler are gritty, and they've been through a lot already before you even pick them up. They've lived in this place and they have to survive, and now they're not only trying to survive, they're trying to create an insurrection, right? In Pine Box, that's much different, because the kids are kids. They're not gritty, they're not hardened, they're kids. They're middle schoolers, and they are discovering the horrors of Pine Box as you do, right? As you do as players. And so you get to learn about it, and you get to not only learn about it, but of course deal with your parents and your siblings and your teachers and the bullies at school and all that other stuff that goes along with it, that sort of modern world sensibility. And at the same time, you're working to do your part to save the world in a different way, right? Against the horrors of Pine Box and the bad actors of weird science and all this other stuff that goes on. So it's just a completely different vibe. When I ran Pine Box, you got people at the table who are just joyfully playing middle schoolers, like just regular middle schoolers, and then the GM presents them with something that's out of the ordinary, and then they have to react as ordinary middle schoolers would, who are particularly brave and particularly foolhardy and willing to face those kinds of fears. So it's just a completely different vibe. The mechanics are different as well, because we've got special growing up rules in Pine Box Middle School. So kids don't advance the same way as the regular Savage Worlds advancement goes. And I think it fits for how kids should feel, right? So it's flexible that way, and it's just very, very different. Plus, ritualism and magic in Pine Box, we have that in Holler, but not codified as a regular thing. It's more of an individual adventure thing. You know, it's like it depends on your adventure. In Pine Box, it's codified as a rule-based thing that we assume you're going to do more often than just, you know, in the odd adventure kind of thing. So we want to make sure that you can do it. So yeah, all these things are there. It's different in a fundamental way, and yet it's still Savage Worlds. You know, it's still the same core mechanic, the same exploding dice, the same feeling at the table, and that sense that the GM can both improvise and stick to some pretty crunchy and satisfying rules as the case necessitates, right? So that's Pine Box versus Holler to me.
So Tim, what I'll ask you is, like, so Holler's coming to a comics, right? So that's the next project. You want to spill a little bit of kind of what you're doing in the comics, like where you taking the story? What does it focus on?
Well, the Holy Roller archetype figures prominently, as does, I mean, Percy Ray Bunch. People hear us say Percy Ray Bunch, they might not know who the heck Percy Ray Bunch is. Like, he's a curious youth archetype who...
He's your author insert, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's my author.
Let's put it this way. When I asked him what archetype he wanted represented on the page with his little forward for the GM screen adventure, he said Percy Ray Bunch.
So Percy Ray Bunch is a curious youth. I've played him in a campaign. He's about 13 years old. He has a rapid fire mouth. He's based on that Lucas Black character in Sling Blade, one third on like Jack from the Jack Tales, and then 1/3 on this little kid Dougie I used to know, who started like cussing in a profligate, prodigious manner by the time he was 5 or 6 years old. He would say things that would it would take the skin off your ears, you know, and he's like 6 years old and saying with such gusto and just always getting into trouble. And so I wanted that sort of mischievous adolescent character who was just constantly creating problems and issues, but also is pretty sharp-tongued and sharp-witted beneath the chaos. And so he's a very prominent character in the comic as well. I plucked another one of the main characters from a campaign that Tracy ran, a Busted Bob, who was played by Mac McCullum, who's like a former preacher turned gouger. And yeah, it deals with a lot of the mystical side of the Holler, different sort of approaches to understanding the world and what's happening in the world. You have like the Holy Roller with her visions. There's a seer who has his own visions. There's Busted Bob, who believes he has a connection to the divine. So there's all these competing kinds of knowledge that they're trying to parse and make work and bring together so they can, you know, come up with a coherent way to fight back against the big boys and have coherent reasons to do it. And, you know, there's big demons too. But yeah.
So one final question for you, amigo. John Dooms asks, anything TTRPG related that you're working on beyond the comic with Oddbard or with Pinnacle or anything like that?
Perhaps. I mean, I don't know what we can talk about and what we can't talk about.
You can talk about whatever you want, sir.
Let's just say, I mean, for sure we can say that Pinnacle plans to support Holler, and we have the Holler writer right here.
Mm-hmm. So there's that. I'm working on a little side project that's a boxing role-playing game. It's not really Savage Worlds. It's a whole different kind of narrative thing. And then I'm working on some other, like, sort of just another setting, but it's in the early stages, probably too early to talk about. But yeah, we want to keep making more Holler if possible, for sure.
Oh, good stuff. Well, that's our hour, folks. We appreciate you showing up for our unboxing. And I think just because it's a cool little video that you and your wife made, and we've showed it on stream before, but it's pretty nifty. for the on the way out, I think I loaded. I did. You can see Tim actually unboxing his first copy. You can just see the joy in your face, so that's why I want to show it again. But the one more time, I want to show your family because I love this. Like this is just like I think that's great having your dad and your mom and your brother both being able to see in the real stuff. And we should do an actual play with your brother on too, man. We should get that.
Oh, it'd be awesome. It would be awesome. He's a good player.
Let's do that. Let's get that on the calendar because that would be fun. And so cheers folks. Again, there is if you haven't gotten Holler, you can go to pinnacleentertainment.com. Let me find I threw a link in there a few minutes back. Peggy.com/campaign/Holler. That has all the stuff that you can grab for Holler. You can get yourself a copy of the book and then any of the amazing accessories to make it more fun if you're a game master. But even if you're just a player, pick this book up and read it. There is so much world building that Tracy and Tim put into this. So much lore building. It's fantastic. It will spur your own creative energies because it's really that unique. So head on there. And then our Kickstarter, which is also running right now, is Legend of Ghost Mountain. We got better part of 3 more weeks on that, and that is also by Pinnacle Entertainment. And that one is more of a awesome kind of wuxia, except your powers and your skills are influenced by strong emotions. So again, Pinnacle always does a unique spin on stuff. And so these are 2 unique kind of properties you're not finding anywhere else in the industry. And I think they're both great to introduce people to role-playing with. For having the amount of depth and fun and interest for veteran players, I would be totally comfortable introducing brand new players, young kids, teenage kids probably, to Holler and to Ghost Mountain. I mean, they really both do fit a lot of kind of check a lot of boxes on those. So we appreciate you guys, and we'll be back tomorrow. Daryl and Donna will be kind of running through we're going to go through the map of the Central Empire to kind of hint at some of the other stories besides the main plot point campaign for Legend of Ghost Mountain. And so yeah, guys. We already got people playing it and they're already enjoying it. And so yeah, and if you guys are out there and you got Holler, take a picture and share it on social media. We love seeing those. It does warm our hearts seeing that folks are enjoying playing it, enjoying getting it, and and it also just a lot of questions get asked from like, what is that game? And then we love to answer them because we can sell you the game and then you can play it with us and you can get to meet the family and all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, cheers, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And here is Tim's unboxing when he first got the thing. So, cheers, folks.
Here's the Holler box set. I've already taken the shrink wrap off, so you won't have to suffer through me struggling through it. Here's Francesco's awesome cover, which is also the cover for the core book, which we have an extra one here. This is the fancy limited edition book. Let's see if it's one that I signed on Monday. Yes, it is, because I signed all 500 plus. Map of the Holler and a little map of the textile town of Ashdown on the back. Look at these pawns. Here are the sheets of Bluegrass Picker, Gouger, Granny Woman, Moonshiner, Miner, Holy Roller, Lumberjack, Tinker, Seer. What did we call him? He's like the mountain man, yes, the peddler, the curious youth, Percy Ray Bunch. And then we get one of the big boys here, Samuel Ashdown. Here's the sheet swap. Here's the action deck. This is awesome. You have your little playing cards, and you determine initiative. Here are archetype cards for the various archetypes. You can just pop them out and start playing. Don't even have to create a character. Here are the scene setters. This was Shane Hensley's idea with sort of iconic areas from around the Holler, and then a little description to help the GM set the scene and set the mood. That's them all. Here are bookmarks. This looks like the GM screen. I should really open this up. Francesco's illustration on this is incredible. Here's the core book hiding down here at the bottom of the box. Core book. Here are your bennies. Oh, they're orange. Orange. It's so spooky and Halloweeny and Halloweeny. Orange is my favorite color. Oh, look at that. Look at these gorgeous bennies. Oh my God, the bennies. And here's your little custom die set. Oh, look, in the bottom of the box, you have the trees with the witchwood and the witchy sigils on it. Oh, that's a really nice touch, son. And here's your wild die with a little owl on it. That's our unofficial Holler mascot. Could have been a sheep squatch. Sheep squatch is pretty big. And I forgot this little bag. I missed it. It's a beautiful little bag. Says Holler on it, and it has your conviction tokens, which are like this antiquated copper with a really cool tree, witchy tree on it. Holler conviction.